Hello, my friends. Welcome to Goal Setting for 2023 and beyond. I'm going to show you a system that you can use to plan out your year, to have all of your quarterly goals and all your monthly and weekly goals all lined up. But I do want to give a word of caution about doing this heavy upfront planning. It is important for us to practice what we preach, right? It's important for us to practice what we learn. And one of the things we learn is that front end loading very heavily in life projects is not a wise idea because life comes at you in ways you didn't even imagine. So while we do all this planning for the quarter, for the month, even down to the week, it's important for you to remember that in this ever-changing world of ours, stuff comes at you that you never even bargained for, and you have to pivot. That's what a lot of people are missing, the ability to pivot, to counteract what is happening in the now. So while we do very thorough planning, some of us, we plan out every month, but we need to also remember Mike Tyson's favorite quote, everyone has a plan until they're socked in the jaw. That's not exactly how he said it. But when you're punched in the mouth, you're on the canvas. What are you going to do? What good is your plan going to be if you cannot pivot? You get what I mean? So you got to pivot, persevere, or pivot. That's what we say in the world of Agile. If everything's going well, it makes logical sense. You take a look at the enterprise environmental factors around you, and it makes sense to keep plowing down that path, then by all means do that. That's what we call persevere. But if things crop up that you hadn't bargained for and you don't have enough wiggle room to squeeze those things in, and those things are more pressing, something has got to give. So that is one of the overarching mindsets I want you to have, regardless the plan you're putting forward for 2023. Always remember, you need to pivot. There are going to be opportunities that are so huge that it wouldn't make sense to leave those opportunities alone without a crazy pursuit of those opportunities. So you got to put certain things on hold in pursuit of those opportunities, and you come back to those lesser prioritized opportunities. And what does that mean? That means that on a weekly basis, you need to be taking a look at your backlog, your personal backlog. I want you to begin to adopt the mindset of having a steady stream, but being able to adjust. In other words, having a backlog. So let me jump straight into it. First of all, I want to ask you, what is your definite chief aim? I could say, whether you are a company or an individual, whether you're an executive, whether you're doing this for your department or yourself, there must be an overarching vision. And that's what I call the definite chief aim. What is your definite chief aim? What do you ultimately want to achieve? And I'm not just talking about in the next month or in the next year. I'm not talking about in the next 5 years. I'm not talking about in the next 10 years. I challenge you to really give it some introspective thinking, to deduce what your definite chief aim for life is, as a business, as an individual, as a company, whatever you are, whoever you are. What is your definite chief aim? What is your vision? What are you 100% vested in this life to achieve? When people look at your achievements, when all is said and done and you're ready to check out of this planet, what do you want people to say about your accomplishments? Now, let me give you some ideas. One of the exams that I train and the subjects I train is project management. And a lot of people want to get certified as professional project managers, PMPs. But I often challenge those of them who come in my Project Leadership Institute. I challenge them to ask the question to themselves, is this all I'm going to do? PMP? Is that it? And the answer is no. It cannot be all. There's got to be a higher calling. Maybe you passed the bar exam. Okay. What are you going to do with it? Is that all? You see, getting a certification or an accomplishment is just a little blip on the radar towards your definite chief aim. You got to take that achievement and you got to make it even bigger and relevant by bringing people into the vision to add value to them or to duplicate what you have to get to that next level. So you need an overarching vision, an overarching definite chief aim. What is it? Personally, I want to make people happy however I can make them happy in this world. I want to make people less conscious of the turmoil around them. See, and however I can do that, I'm going to do it. Whether I do it in what I teach, or when I have speaking engagements, or when I'm composing in my music studio and putting out singles and albums. That's what I have in the back of my mind. I want people to be happy, to celebrate life, to have fun. And as part of my overarching vision, I want people to learn how to better lead themselves so that they can make the most of life. That's really what my overarching vision is. That's what I'm about. Making people happy and adding value to people to be the best version of themselves. I do that through my leadership training, my project management training, my communications coaching, my Project Leadership Institute, and my music. I have several singles and albums, and that's what I'm thinking of. How can I make people happy? How can I add value to people to help them get to that next level, to be the best version of themselves, to boss up in life? So what is your definite chief aim? That's mine as a person, not my company, just me as an individual. But what is yours? What is your definite chief aim? Right? Think about that. Now, when you get your definite chief aim, the next step is to begin to think about goals, right? Some may call it missions to get to the overarching vision. So, when you know your vision, the little missions make sense, you know. So part of my goal is to help people become the best version of themselves. So I need to equip them and coach them in agile mindset, in leadership, in project management, in positivity and pragmatism, things like that. And then I also have other missions in releasing music into the world. Music of all genres, be it jazz, be it R&B, be it world music. And I collaborate and have partnerships. And those produce these outputs that help people to be happy, to just sing a song and forget about the craziness going on in life, to give people hope. So now you understand vision and then the lower missions, the lower level missions. Let's jump straight into an example I have for you here. So right here, I have a video that I've already recorded, but I'm not going to go through all of this. So now it makes sense when I say goal, you know that the goal is not the overarching vision. The goal is just the blip on the radar to help you get to that overarching vision. So I want you to look at it like this. You got a big vision. This could be a vision, like I said, a life vision. I'm all about life vision. I like people having a compass to show them where their true north is. And that becomes your true north at that time. Now, visions change and morph over time with more understanding, with more insight into your life and life in general. Your vision could change, but not so dramatically for many people. It changes gradually over time. But that vision is supported by goals. At whatever point on that axis of time that you're thinking of, there are goals to support the vision as it is today. So let's start from as it is today, okay? When you set your goals, at this high level, you need to think about this as a type of WBS, because you need to get a little bit more specific. So here you can see the goals are now Q1 goals, Q2 goals, Q3 goals, and Q4 goals. You can then decompose the Q1 goals into smaller pieces. Right here, you can see some of my goals for the Project Leadership Institute. I'm now fleshing out goals for my year 2 students and my year 1 students. I'm fleshing out goals of specifics I want them to achieve by the end of Q1. And at the end of my Q1 planning, I have this bucket of things that I want to achieve for my members of Project Leadership Institute. And that's how I want you to take your Q1, and I want you to just make some big chunk goals for Q1, whatever those may look like. Maybe you want to lose 10 pounds. Maybe you want to lose 50 pounds, right? It's not going to happen in Q1, so you got to chunk it into pieces. You could do 12 and a half over every quarter. That's realistic. And then by the end of 2023 or whichever year you're looking at this, you've achieved your goal of losing 50 pounds in that year. But you got to chunk it into tiny pieces. Some of you want to go for bigger, more challenging jobs. Well, put that on the radar as well, right? So that's Q1. And then do the same for Q2. One of the things I would advise you to do is to have a sort of system for your year. So have a theme for your year, right? Whatever you're trying to accomplish, have a kind of theme, give your year a theme, and build your goals around that theme, that mindset of that theme as well. See, for example, next year, my theme is multiply leaders. So a lot of my goals are to get people to actually step out and teach and coach others, to go from just being a spectator to being a doer, to actually train, coach, and mentor others in everything I've taught them, be it project management, be it Agile, be it leadership, to become evangelists of what I've taught them. All right, and then going into Q3, same thing, flesh it out. Q4, flesh it out, big chunks, but you got to make it smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time frame. As you can see in these green spots on the screen, that is my overarching theme, right? I need people to become practical doers of leadership, of project management. And I want to encourage you, if you are listening to the sound of my voice and this is making sense and you want to be part of this, just go on down to projectleadershipinstitute.com or go on down to Praizion.com and take a look at some of the programs, or just ask, right? Just ask. If you want to get to that next level, be a doer, be a teacher, you need to be on my program of leadership, because I know lots of you, you get certified and you just stay PMPs without making big change. Big change. Now, I know not everyone is cut out for big change. Some are scared and they will forever just be PMPs and they won't move out of PMP mode, and they'll just be in a company for the rest of their life and no one will hear about them. But I know some of you want more of a challenge. You've got more of a calling in you to change the way people see the world around them, to become a better leader, a better team player. If that sounds like something you got a passion for, you need to work with me on getting you to that level where you are able to transform the world around others and help them to do the same. That's what I'm about. I want to multiply leaders. I want to multiply project management coaches and trainers, because one person can never do it the way the entire team of interested, dedicated people can. So are you looking to become a project management coach, trainer, mentor, speaker? You got to commit to it. So you got to have goals. But I already have a program in place to help project managers know what leadership is, to learn about what leadership is, to learn about what success is about, and to develop in that regard. So going down to projectleadershipinstitute.com, you can also check out the Project Leaders Club. It's right there on the Praizion site. whichever vehicle you choose will take action, massive action to get you traction towards your overarching vision. Okay, so going back to what we're looking at here, my friends, the idea is to make it as smart as possible, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time framed, right? Pivot as the situation demands. And that is a high level view to goal setting at this macro level. That's just macro level. Now, to take it a step further, I want to show you a system that I have shared with my students. And last year, we had a goal setting approach that was broken down in this Excel file you see here. So I encourage them to have overarching goals for January, right? So maybe that's someone's overarching goal for January, to get that certification. And then maybe for February, close gaps in exam results, because a lot of people don't do that. They don't care. But if you find yourself to be weak in an area, maybe you're weak in process or you're weak in business, then spend time intentionally closing these gaps. One of the ways you can close these gaps, for those of you who are PMPs, I've said this time and time again, is just get a physical copy of PMP exam immersion. It's timeless because it's not based on a PMBOK. It's not based on the exam syllabus alone. It has a lot of life stuff that can help. So the business domain is extremely robust. We go into a lot of frameworks throughout the people domain, and in the business domain, we give you such a firm foundation. So if you've taken the PMP exam, I encourage you, PMP exam immersion. I know it says PMP, so it makes it sound like it's studying for the exam. Actually, you can learn a ton by just going through the pieces that you're weak in, like all of the Agile thinking caps for every chapter. Read those. You're going to learn a ton. Okay, so let's say January is to get certified. February, maybe you close the gaps like that. Maybe March could be engage with 10 recruiters to find a new job in Agile. Like some of my students, they're now Scrum Masters and made the jump from just working in the world of project management, in the regular traditional project management, and they're now Scrum Masters, and they know who they are, and I'm so proud of them. Some of them product owners, Scrum Masters, and they've made the jump. And I want to say I'm so proud of you taking that bold step. April could be attend 5 interviews, average of 1.25 a week, one a week average, okay, one or two a week. And then in May, you could say secure new employment. And these could be your personal goals, your personal, right? Not those big goals I showed you for an entire company. Something else you could add to the list here, every quarter, we have our leadership summits. So this leadership summit, we're going to have leadership summit on hybrid agile coaching. You got to attend these summits. Okay. So we make announcements when these summits are. Just have that as a cadence. So end of March, you attend that one, and it kind of gives you a benchmark. So when you attend in the summit in March or June, I believe June is the one we have with Dr. Rick. on dealing with meetings. Dealing with meetings you can't stand. We have that in June. So just use some of these things as benchmarks. Something that needs to be on your calendar every week or every month is your one-on-one coaching session. Coaching and mentoring session with Phil. I need you to put these on your calendar, and I am going to hold you accountable to making these sessions. Some of you haven't met with me in a while, and I understand that, but I really need you to put these on your calendar so that we can get some traction for massive action, for your satisfaction. It's so important. So let's do that. Okay. As far as September is concerned, same thing. No, let's do that again. So we've got another summit in September. And these quarterlies, I'm telling you, it's a cadence. You know, when people talk about the retrospective is a great way of you having a rhythm to whatever you're doing. So at the end of every quarter, when you get to these summits, the purpose is to also take account and use it as a mini retrospective and say, how good am I doing with my goals? Have I achieved my goals? And so on. So there you have it. That's another vehicle, as you can see, right there, right? Another vehicle that you could use to plan your year. So 2 levels. The first level I showed you was at a very, very high level, like a WBS. This one over here. Okay, that was the first one, higher level. This one, you see, it won't take that long to do. I've got a longer video of how I put all of these together, so you can watch that video to kind of go through the thought process with me. And then we've got another approach, okay? So I'm just showing you different approaches to get to the goal of planning, really. Our goal here is really to have a good plan for the year. Okay. All right. Now, the last approach that I would like to show you is pretty Kanbanized, for lack of a better word. It's very Kanban board oriented. So first one I showed you is like a physical Kanban board. The next one I'm going to show you is more of an electronic Kanban board, but it's in Excel. So look at it like a Kanban board in Excel for your personal goals. So I want to get SPS certified so that I can better apply simple scaling ideas to projects and programs in my organization. Okay. And then you can make a note. The firm is stepping up the scaling game, and I am on the panel. So this is my to-do. The estimate for this to get SPS certified, it's medium if you've never been there. There's a lot that you need to read and you need to understand. So it's like you need to understand the entire story of the PSM, the PSPO, PAL, in my mind, before going for that SPS. Or you got to go for a very good class that covers the content that needs to be done. And that's an effort in and of itself. The priority, I could say it's a priority 1 for me. When do I want to get it done? Sprint 1. So you can see I've broken it down into Januaries and Februaries. And these are my sprints, right? So January sprint 1. You look at your entire year as an endeavor, as a product, and you break it down into sprints. So a 4-week sprint, and just like that. But remember, you should also have a mindset of the syncing up. So if there's collaborators, so Ken and his team, for example, right, are collaborators, then I need to be syncing in with whoever is on that team as I'm going through my month. So don't just go through the sprint. You got to have those daily stand-ups, okay? The daily scrums, that's going to help you. So whoever your collaborators are, I encourage you to have regular touch points with them in whatever medium, whatever measure you see fit. The estimated effort, right here, you can use the Fibonacci sequence. Let's say this is an 8, using a bigger, smaller, same size mindset. So I could say this is an 8 in comparison with my PSM, which is a 5, for example. Okay, maybe another goal is to lose 50 pounds so that I can better enjoy life and be healthy. And maybe you want a 6-pack for summer. It's doable, right? If not this summer, the next one, right? Okay, the notes. Got the FLE program and BA program from my friends Vince and co at VShred. Maybe I'm on that program, and this is going to help me to keep things in focus. The estimate, I'm going to say it's large, it's big, because I know I need to get out of bed daily, and I actually need to work these programs. So right now, I'm working a combination of programs, not just one. So I need to have that in my forefront. My priority, as far as getting it done, you know the rule, right? There's only one priority one. so something's got to take the hit. Now, in prioritizing, like a good product owner, I'm going to say health is first. So I'm going to put my losing 50 pounds. I'm going to put that on. Or maybe I need to backtrack and say, okay, I'm talking about a month. Is this possible? Maybe I need to break this 50 pounds into a series of 5 across 10 months. So I could say, okay, baby steps, 5 pounds. You see the tuning and adjusting? This is my backlog refinement right here. And it's going to be in sprint 1. And my collaborators are going to be Vince and his team. And part of my inspiration is my buddy Conrad, who lost over 212 pounds. So I'm going to tune into his programs and watch him, listen to him, right? You want people who've been there, done that. So I'm going to listen to my buddy Conrad, who are featured on this channel. And then my estimated effort, this is a lot. This is big. So let's take a look at the Fibonacci sequence here. I'm going to put this at a 13 because it's a daily continuous grind to get that down. And going through this, my friends, I'm telling you, if you truly mean business, if you truly mean business to achieve your goals, if you truly mean business and you really want to achieve your goals, you got to do something like this, my friend. You got to go from just having an idea in your head of what you want to achieve to actually putting it down on paper to achieve it. Okay? So I wish you all the very best, my friends, in 2023. If you got any questions whatsoever about any of the things I shared, let me know. I'm going to endeavor to put a link to all this stuff below. So the Kanban board that I shared just now, this one that I shared in Excel, the other one I shared in Google Sheets, I am going to do my best to make the links available below so that you can plan your year, okay? Just have that overarching vision first, okay? What is your overarching vision? What are the goals? And then go even down to the lower level. If you noticed in the Excel file that I shared, they've got two tabs here. There's another tab, and these are really meant to be similar to what I showed you in the backlog weekly, okay? Intentionality is key. If you do not approach your year with intentionality, my friend, I'm telling you, you will not amount to as much as you could have if you planned at that macro level for the year, okay? Planned even above that for the overarching vision, which I've challenged you to have, and then going down, like I said, into the different weeks. You got to have an agile mindset. You got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to persevere. When you need to persevere, persevere. When you need to pivot, pivot. But the bottom line is have a plan to get to your goal. If you don't have a plan, you're not going to get to that goal, my friend. Okay? I hope this makes sense, and I hope it gives you inspiration to go beyond just being a spectator to actually being involved in your life, to actually have a definite chief aim and to pursue it. All right? Thank you all very much. I will see you in 2023. Bye for now.